In this video, I am going to show you how I fixed this old photo using Photoshop Elements. And this is the finished product. I'm going to go back to the beginning and I'll show you step by step how I did this. The first thing I did is I made a levels adjustment by clicking on the adjustment layer button and going down to levels, and then changing the blending mode to multiply. Okay, that's what it was, and I changed the name to shadow. Then I copied this by bringing it down to the new layer button and just making a copy. That shadow copy then is also at blending mode. I did that. I'm going to do that a third time, and it's also blending mode. So now I have 3 layers of this blending mode levels adjustment, and I've got some good shadow detail there. Now I'm going to increase the contrast. I'm going to make another levels adjustment, and this time I'm going to change that blending mode you can see here to overlay. So I just moved it down to overlay, and I made another copy and changed the name to contrast. That gives us, makes the lights and darks stand out and gives more detail. Now as I've been doing this, you'll notice that the color saturation has gotten really deep, and so I need to fix that. So I am going to create a hue saturation level. Again, I go to the adjustment levels button, go down to here to hue saturation. I'm going to get rid of this one to show you what I did in the one I already have done. In this hue saturation, I just moved the saturation button down until I got the color saturation that I felt was appropriate for the photo. The next thing I did was to get rid of all of these little spots that you can see in the picture here. And I did that by creating a heal layer. I just created a new layer, renamed it to heal, and then let me show you how we rename it. So I renamed the layer, change it to heal, say OK, and then it would be my heal layer. Then I would click on the little button heal, spot healing tool, and I just go around and get some of these spots. And I did that for all of the spots in here. You can see I'm just going through and doing that little by little. And tell whether some of these are spots on my screen here. So I can also do that with some of this along the side here. If I want to heal that, fix that, heal that a little bit more, go up here. But as I get into this white, it gets a little funny. So I'm going to heal the white part using a clone in the next step. So I went through and did that. These big spots you can't heal them very well with the heal tool, so we're going to do those with the cloning. So I want to show you what the final results of that are. So that's the final results, and it's beginning to look better. Now I want to get rid of all of this here, and to get rid of this spot here, give her hair a little bit more color, and get all of that fixed. So in the heal, I missed something on the heal thing layer here. When you're doing the heal, make sure you have content aware and samples, all samples clicked when you do it. Otherwise, when you try to heal, it won't do anything because it's just looking at the layer you're on. So you need to make sure you have content aware and sample all layers. Okay. So now I'm going to create a clone and get rid of these clone layer and get rid of these other blemishes in the picture. So I do that again. I click on a new layer button, and I make sure, and I click on the clone button again. I want to make sure I'm in sampled all layers, and I'm going to set the opacity to 100% first to get the sky here, and then I'm going to change that opacity for some of the other things we're doing. So to do a clone button, you have to choose an area you're going to clone. So you're going to push down the Alt button, you get this little X in a circle thing here, and you're going to click where you want that to take from, and then you're just going to go along and clean up your picture here. Now if I go up to here, it's going to get some of that. I don't like that, so I'm going to go up to just about where that should be, and go in here, and I want to make this a little bit smaller. I'm going to choose this yellow kind of color in here and clone it out like this, and so forth. On the dress, we're going to change our cloning opacity down to about 68%. So go up here, move this down to about 68, give or take, and you can make your brush bigger and smaller using the square brackets. The left square bracket makes it smaller, the right square bracket makes it bigger. So I'm going to choose from right here, and I'm going to come and I'm going to click in some along here. Oops, I don't like that. I'll just undo. Okay, so we're going to choose up here and come down. We're moving on through here. I'm going to come up from the bottom here so that it blends it into it better. That's why I used the 68% rather than 100. So come down here. That's not working very well. Here we go. And that blends the skirt out. Oops, I don't like that. Undo a little bit there. Yeah, we go. So make sure you are, and so forth. We're going to move through here. Do the same thing with the hair here. I'm going to blend it, change the blending mode here down a little bit more, down to about in the 30s. 37 is good. I'm going to choose this color up here because I want to move that. Let's come on. Oops, Alt. Choose this here because I want to move that highlighted area over just a little bit, and then we're going to choose this here and move it down. So now we're finished cloning, and this is how it looks when we're done fixing all those spots. The next thing we want to do is smooth out the skin tones along the face here. We'll do that with a blur, creating a blurred layer. We'll do that. We're in the clone, and we're going to hit Control, Alt, Shift, and E at the same time. It will create a merged layer from all the layers that were below, and we're going to put a filter, blur, surface blur, change the radius to 2, the threshold to 255. We're okay with that. You can see that that's blurred the image a little bit, but we only want that blurring area to occur in the face here. So we're going to create a levels layer mask here by hitting the layer mask button, and then hold down Control, hit I, and that will inverse it. So now that blur is not applied to anything in our picture, we're going to choose where we want that to be applied using the white paintbrush over here. and pick up the paintbrush. Make sure you've got it white, set to 100% opacity, and we're just going to color in a little bit of blur in the face here to smooth it out just a little bit. Now, I like this, but it's maybe a little bit too much, so I'm going to set this to 51%, and you see it's a little bit better. I'll move that back up to 100% so you can see, and then if you move it down just a little bit, down to around 50%, you get a little less of an effect on there, and that's what I'm happy with. So now I'm done with the picture, and I'm happy with the picture right now, but then maybe I come along and I say, I don't like this thing sticking out here in this tree out of the top of her head. I don't really like that. I can then use the clone tool again, picking up this white here, and paint out these areas. So if I did that, then this would be my final picture. Then you go up here. When I'm done with that and I'm happy, I'll click save as and I will choose a name for it, make sure it's saved as a TIFF, and hit save. I'm okay replacing it because I've already done this before, and this is okay, and you're done. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.